Welcome to Infinite Heart Stories, where we explore the profound narratives that shape our lives and define our hidden potential today. Imagine a sudden storm where opportunity falls like heavy rain. Yet most people instinctively open umbrellas to stay dry and safe. Only a select few stand in the downpour, holding buckets, ready to catch every drop of the water that others reject. This brings us to the story of Daniel, a man who understood that luck is simply preparation meeting the right moment. Daniel was 32 years old, working long shifts as a waiter, but his mind was constantly analyzing business strategies and models. While his colleagues went out after work, Daniel returned to his small apartment to devour books on economics and market trends. He lived a double life, balancing the physical demands of service with the intellectual rigor of a professional business consultant's mind. Many people asked why he worked so hard for a future that seemed impossible. But Daniel knew his time would come. It was a busy Friday evening, the kind of night where chaos reigns and the staff runs around just to survive. The manager pulled Daniel aside and assigned him to the most important table, requiring absolute perfection and attention to every detail. Enter Robert Chen, the CEO of a massive consulting firm, a man known for his sharp intellect and high expectations. Daniel recognized him immediately from the business magazines he read, realizing that his role model was sitting right in his section. Robert seemed distracted by a crisis at work, barely looking at the menu as he checked emails on his phone. Instead of rushing, Daniel approached with a calm demeanor, observing the situation before interrupting the busy executive with a standard greeting. He suggested a light meal that would keep Robert energized without making him feel heavy, showing genuine care for his well-being. Robert looked up, surprised by the waiter's intuition, and nodded in agreement, appreciating the efficiency and thoughtfulness of the suggestion. Back in the kitchen, Daniel ensured everything was flawless, treating this single order as the most critical project of his career. He served the meal with invisible grace, waiting for the perfect moment to refill the glass without interrupting Robert's phone call. Robert ended the call with a heavy sigh, clearly frustrated by a complex merger problem that he was struggling to solve. Daniel had overheard key phrases about market saturation and pivot strategies, topics he had studied extensively just the night before. He faced a critical choice: remain the silent server in the background, or step forward and reveal his true potential. Taking a calculated risk, Daniel poured more wine and gently remarked on the difficulty of navigating current shifting market trends. Robert paused, amused that a waiter would comment on business strategy, and asked if Daniel followed the industry news often. Daniel replied with a concise analysis of the sector, referencing a recent case study that perfectly paralleled Robert's current situation. The skepticism on Robert's face vanished, replaced by genuine intrigue as he realized this was no ordinary conversation with staff. He asked Daniel to elaborate on his theory, giving the waiter the floor to demonstrate his knowledge and strategic thinking skills. Daniel used the metaphor of the bucket and the umbrella to explain how companies often protect assets rather than capturing growth. He argued that in volatile times, defensiveness leads to stagnation, while aggressive preparation allows businesses to harvest the storm's benefits. Robert was so impressed that he pulled out his notebook, writing down the insights that the young waiter was sharing. The manager watched from across the room, initially concerned, but stopped when he saw the CEO engaging so deeply with Daniel. Robert closed his notebook, looked Daniel in the eye, and asked why a mind so sharp was serving tables here. Daniel smiled and explained that he was simply preparing his bucket, waiting for the right rain to fall upon him. Robert reached into his jacket pocket, pulled out a card, and wrote a direct, private number on the back. He handed it to Daniel and told him to call on Monday morning, warning him not to be a minute late. Daniel held the card like it was made of gold, realizing that his years of silent preparation had finally paid off. Robert left a generous tip, patted Daniel on the shoulder, and walked out, leaving a changed atmosphere in his wake. As Daniel cleared the table, he was no longer just a waiter. He was a consultant who had just secured his first client. Monday morning arrived, and Daniel stood before his mirror, adjusting the tie of his best suit, ready for the new chapter. He walked into the corporate headquarters not with fear, but with the confidence of someone who had prepared for this decade. Inside the boardroom, Daniel didn't just survive, he thrived, presenting ideas that brought fresh perspectives to the seasoned executive team. The other executives were stunned by his insight, and Robert smiled, knowing he had discovered a diamond in the rough. Over the next few years, Daniel rose rapidly through the ranks, becoming one of the most sought-after consultants in the firm. He eventually stood on stages sharing his expertise, always beginning his speeches with the story of the bucket and the umbrella. He reminded everyone that the miracle wasn't the meeting with Robert. The miracle was the thousands of hours of study beforehand. Without that preparation, the dinner with the CEO would have just been another meal served, and the opportunity would have vanished. This story leaves us with 3 crucial lessons. First, realize that every small moment is preparation for a big opportunity. We often despise the small, boring tasks, but they are the building blocks that construct the foundation for our future success. Daniel's time cleaning tables taught him humility and service, qualities that made him an exceptional leader and consultant later on. Second, remember that opportunity often does not look like opportunity. It frequently appears as hard work or a difficult problem. It doesn't always arrive with fanfare and lights. Sometimes it sits quietly at a dinner table, hidden inside a tired customer. If Daniel had only seen a grumpy man instead of a potential connection, he would have missed the turning point of his life. Third, and most importantly, stop building umbrellas to shield yourself from change, and start building buckets to catch the rain. Seeking safety and comfort guarantees mediocrity, while embracing the unknown and preparing for it guarantees that you will eventually thrive. Today, Daniel is no longer waiting for the rain to stop. He is out there dancing in it, collecting his rewards. His story forces us to ask ourselves a difficult question. What are we doing while we wait for our big break? Are we distracting ourselves with entertainment, complaining about our bad luck, and hiding under the umbrella of our own comfort zone? Or are we sharpening our skills, expanding our knowledge, and standing ready with a bucket for when the storm finally breaks? The universe is constantly sending down showers of opportunity, but it does not care if you are ready to receive them. You might be serving tables right now, or driving the truck, or sitting in a cubicle, but your location is not your destiny. Your destiny is determined by what you do in the shadows when no one is watching and no one is applauding. The difference between the lucky and the unlucky is simply that the lucky ones were prepared when the door finally opened. So, I invite you today to throw away your umbrella and step out into the rain with your bucket held high. Start learning that new skill, read that difficult book, and treat your current job as the training ground for your dream. Don't wait for the perfect conditions, because the perfect conditions do not exist. There is only preparation and the inevitable moment. When you are truly ready, you will find that the world is eager to give you exactly what you have earned. Let Daniel's story be the spark that ignites your own journey of preparation, transforming your waiting time into working time. Fill your bucket with knowledge, skills, and resilience, so that when the opportunity comes, you have something to offer the world. Life rewards those who stay ready, so make a promise to yourself today that you will never be caught unprepared again. Your story is waiting to be written, and the pen is in your hand, waiting for you to start the first chapter. Remember, one small drop of action causes ripples that can change the entire ocean of your future if you persist. Be like Daniel. Be the person who sees the rain not as a problem to avoid, but as a blessing to catch. We hope this story has inspired you to look at your own life and identify where you can start preparing today. If you found value in this video, please like and share it with someone who needs to hear this message right now. Subscribe to our channel for more stories that touch the heart and expand the mind, helping you reach your full potential. Thank you for watching Infinite Heart Stories. Remember to bring your bucket, stay prepared, and catch the rain of your future.